This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and fowlibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists, as well as our guest lecturer members King Pearlshine, Vite Ramen, Mognite, and Darren Noblock. Class is in session.
I need to mute it.
Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will and a lot of really cool spoilers to your favorite ever live Force of Will vodcast. It's Office Hours, featuring myself, DMO73, this time in the upper right corner for some reason. And I'm joined, as always, by Paul Reisman.
Hey.
Excellent. Mike Rance.
Jeremy really shaking it up today. What's going to happen next?
Ooh,
Is he going to be in the center and the cards will be all around?
Yeah, it's just all the cards all at once and hope you can translate it. And also, Patrick Ogrids. Welcome back, Patrick.
We're at random places, like we're getting random armaments.
Hey!
Look at that
Thematic.
segue. Amazing.
But first off, we have pointing. That's our first card here. Anyway, before we get started, just a few reminders. If you like what we're doing, want to consider supporting the channel, you can click that join button down below. It is the easiest way to show your love. You can also click that super thanks or like super chat button if you feel like dropping something just for today. But the membership is the way to get access to the cool emotes and other cool perks, and you can always check that out. We appreciate it. Or you can just subscribe and share it out. As we're looking through these cards, if you're like, hey, these cards look really awesome, I want to get some, you should go ahead and check out Odyssey Games pre-order in the link in the description as well. And I will note that signups are currently live for the May Force of Will Discord exhibition event on May 20th. Just as a reminder what that playmat that you will be playing looks like. Let me pull that up here real quick. The top 8 of the event will be taking away this beautiful playmat. As soon as I pull it up, here it is. This wonderful, cool playmat. To the top 8 players will be walking away with this, and it's only going to be printed the one time, so definitely check it out and try to win it. So hopefully to see you there. It also is a fundraiser for FowFest, so we hope you participate. Information for that is in the description below. Okay, business out of the way, back to pointing. We're going into spoilers. We're going to finish out the stuff for Reunion, the deck that doesn't make sense, and then we're gonna go into talking about armaments. I feel so dumb for needing that reference pointed out. So we have
the wrong way.
Yeah, we always gotta point. This is Observing the Crimson Moon. 1 blue quick cast. Put a Moon Edition token with no attribute into the field. This card deals 500 damage multiplied by X to target J/Resonator, where X is the number of Moon tokens you control. Order Kaguya support randomly because she creates Moon tokens, and that deck always needed good spot removal. It's just kind of nice. Yeah, but I'll open the floor to just people about this card in general.
It's quick cast. Kaguya enters the Game of Gods without the second mode. And you don't have to banish your moons.
But it can't hit your opponent's face.
It can't hit face. True.
However, so it's like half. So it's like half.
It can hit a reflector, or however you want to call it,
and redirect it to your opponent.
Redirector.
Yeah.
Thunder Parasol ran, so this card could walk. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Or Calamity. Or Calamity
that's fair.
Shield plus
Thunder Parasol ran, so this card could walk.
Damn, I never thought I'd be here to see the day of reverse power with Force of Will.
that got me. That got me for sure. Especially because this doesn't draw a card. It just makes a token.
Here you go, Moon. What are you doing with it?
That's very funny. I will say though that this does an interesting card. One of the things that we've talked about with Aristella is the new Aristella, based on how the extension rule card, which we still haven't seen, works, is the idea of playing a Grim Era ruler that's then supported by the Aristella suite and like the stuff that comes in this set, versus playing a support ruler from set 1 to support Aristella. Honestly, I kind of like this card for people trying to play like Wolf Girl. Wolf Girl spot removal. You would be surprised. You would be surprised how many people are trying to play Wolf Girl right now.
I will rescind my statement. I don't know any competent players that are trying to play.
Also incorrect. Like, you'd be surprised at how many people are talking about Little Red the Wolf Girl as an option for freaking Aristella.
At all. I don't play this game much, but I recognize bad. And that card that card is my tier.
I think it's cute. I think it's cute. I think it's cool.
It is cute. It's jank, though.
I'm still just sad we don't have access to Kaguya 3 with the new era Stella, but that would be broken.
Yeah. It would be.
Very importantly, do you guys know that meme where it's like guide to wood, and it's just a guy like taking like a glass and like pointing at it and says, "Yep, that's wood." That's pretty much this like observing the crimson moon. Like, yep, it's a moon.
Is this a butterfly?
Yeah, especially because of how big it is in the background. Just like, look, observe it.
That's it. We're observing it. It's there. Excellent.
Yeah. Paul, any thoughts on this blue card?
Falchion is ripped. Like he is the most ripped in this particular card art as compared to all of the other.
So okay. I'm not sure if he's just like regular ripped or if he's like Rob Liefeld chest ripped. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just a lot of pecs.
Literally just like the Captain America to the side.
Wingspan kind of thing. Yeah, for sure. Man's got a wingspan for days. Next up we have, if XSplit will be kind to me, we have Hologram of the Crimson Moon, the 1 blue moon edition. Enter, return target non-magic stone, non-J ruler entity to its owner's hand. If you control the chosen target, draw a card. Interestingly enough, if you decide to order Hanzo in Deus Ex, which you can do, this card draws your whole deck. That's a thing.
Please explain.
So, Hanzo says that all your moons can produce will.
I understand.
And then you play this card and have it target itself. But then you produce blue with it before it goes back to its hand. So then you bounce it back to your hand and recast it with the blue and draws your entire deck. So order Hanzo in Deus Ex. Have fun.
There you go.
We needed this, I guess.
Reveal that. You didn't have to
it's bad. It's bad. We have a quick cast thing for Deus Ex to draw his entire deck anyway. But like, this is neat. Like, it's cool.
Just you wait until I've got all 5 pieces of Exodia.
If you could play Exodia in this deck,
you could do it in Order Alice too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Or a way to like kill your own Hanzo so you can order a Titor. Like this is a really good way of digging for that. Just saying.
I mean, like it's another way to try to make Titor deck out a thing, but Titor deck out isn't a thing. So just like,
Terrific.
Pain.
It's neat.
Pain.
Other than that, this card is okay. Like, it's nothing to shake a stick at. It is a moon, which is kind of like the part about it that's relevant. We do see that blue has a lot of like bounce your own thing to recast it or recycle it, which I kind of like. I like the fact that it can be something your opponent controls, right? It doesn't have to be your own. So I think this card sees some play for sure. Especially because we have the card that like cheats in moons, right? So like this also has like some flexibility there too.
You can cheat in this 1-cost thing. Amazing.
Yeah. We already know what the best moon is.
Which is
Zeus Alice.
Oh.
She is the best moon. But she's a 3-cost, and so none of the moon stuff cheats in 3-cost moons.
Yeah, that's why Tsukiyomi Noble.
Campanella does, and Campanella is also cheated.
Oh, that's true.
Because she's a moon.
Campanella's not a moon.
She's not a moon.
You're so close, bud. You got this.
We were close.
Oh, artificial moon! Just put a 15 defense thing into play.
There you go. There you go.
Advanced Prego TK. Put it in speed.
I like this as a removal option in Falchion, as well as a way to sort of recycle your Feetsings, recycle your Lorates, pretty much anything else that you commit to the field that is like, I like this enter effect. I can just put it back in my hand and cantrip.
Yeah, and we've already been seeing Bastet, right? Like, see some fringe play in certain decks. Like, we've seen people like tech it in. Right, so this is it functions a similar kind of role, right? It just has the added value of like if you're bouncing your own thing, you also draw a card, right? So Bastet is always kind of like net neutral because you're like essentially replacing something with the Bastet, but this card doesn't have to replace it. Like it itself is replacing it, and it's also replacing itself in hand. So it has that a little bit more flexibility to it, which is kind of cool. I like a lot. Next up, we have Exploration Mission to the Crimson Moon. 1 blue, 2 colorless. Return all non-Genetic Stone, non-J ruler entities to their owner's hands. Let's count the number of times in Force of Will's history that a non-quick cast bounce both sides of the board has been printed and never seen play. At least 4.
Oh, I was gonna say 0.
How many times have they been blue?
Have never seen play. Like I'm saying, I've never seen play. We have had
all of them.
We have seen
Thunderstorm.
Yeah, we have seen blue in multiple clusters try to print some kind of bounce the board spell back to hand, and it has never been good. Literally never. The only time we've even gotten close is the Mercurius Awakening spell.
But it's literally only because you cheated 3 Captain Hooks into
Correct. That was the only reason.
The only time this effect has been good is when it didn't do that.
Yeah.
Thunderstorm Control and Shayla. Excuse me.
That was quick cast though. That was quick cast though.
Are you're saying stuff without quick cast?
Right.
Yeah.
Fine.
There have been several, like, in water over the span of the years that have been, let's bounce the board at non-quick cast speed both sides. And you're just like, why do we keep printing this? Why do we keep printing this effect? It's never good. Especially now that we're in Wanderer. So it's like, we can just go to the other ones and see they're not good. Like, stop.
If it were 1 void cheaper, it'd be fine.
If it was 2 void cheaper, it would be okay.
So would you like to know
you could cast it off of Thunder Empress's string.
The power creep of this card, which is still not enough, is the fact that this hits everything that's not J rulers or stones, whereas our previous ones just hit like resonators, right?
Oh,
so
you
like
can bounce additions.
You can also bounce the Regalia.
Yeah, and Regalia and stuff. So like this certainly hits more stuff, right? But even then, it's not enough. Like, I honestly just wish they had given this quick cast. Like, keep it at 3. Keep it at 3. Make it quick cast. It's both sides of the field. Sure, fine.
It's
let him have it.
Rainstone, just keep going.
Yeah, let's let it happen. You know, but yeah, for sure. We keep trying to make this card printable and playable, and it never is.
Really good draft card in sealed limited.
Oh god, in limited it's gonna be really good. It's going in the cube. Like I'm gonna put it in the cube. If only because the full art is going to be a green orb on a black background and nothing else.
Just going for
Orb go brr.
Orb go brr indeed. Next up we have Guardian of Eternal. 1 blue, 2/2 human. Prevent the first damage that will be dealt to this card each turn. If damage is prevented this way, draw a card. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not excited about it.
It's a normal.
It feels like a normal.
That sure is a card.
Yeah.
This is like one of the cards of all time. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is one of the cards of all time.
I feel like it would be a neat combo with one of the
Hi,
cards
Roderick.
we used to have, where when something would enter, deal damage to it.
Yeah,
so,
like
instead
Lancelot
of
or
it
something.
taking damage, it just replaces itself.
Yeah.
Oh, Bloodfire Dragon. Target your thing. Deal 500 damage to it. Prevent it. 2 mana, 7.
I will say this does have a very interesting element as like maybe even a card for and hear me out. This actually kind of does see some potential play for Reinhardt as a way to help that man draw cards. Because you could just ping it once a turn with Princess and then draw a card, and Princess then essentially says pay 0, draw a card, which for Reinhardt isn't nothing. Like that man runs out of cards quickly. Like he doesn't have a lot of draw power in his deck that's good. So like I don't hate that.
I will say it's a little spicy seeing a man in uniform like this.
I would say in that scenario he's fighting for competition between Alice's little scout and Cheshire Cat.
The only reason why I say that I like him better than those two is the fact that Princess can ping him on both players' turns.
So you could like draw additional cards on their turn as
well. So literally one of them sticking around lets me draw a card every single turn. Like, and it's just like, oh, the longer it sticks around, the more cards I'm gonna draw. right? So like that's why I'm saying like I think it probably feels better in that regard. But that's like a fringe playable case. This is a normal and it's okay.
Fringe playable cases. I got a cool interaction for you with this card too.
Stop.
Go for it.
Number 4 anti-magic. Green red. This card costs green or red less when you target your own J ruler.
This isn't a J ruler.
You can make it your
Order
J
it up.
ruler.
Or are you saying order it? God,
Order
what a
this thing.
fringe playable interaction. I'm here for it.
Move over. There's a new order deck in town.
I'm here for it, boys.
This card is fine. It's inoffensive.
Yeah.
You
Probably-
deal 1,000 damage to it. It gets prevented. You draw a card, and then you cancel the thing your opponent controls with the anti-magic.
I mean, honestly, don't hate that entirely.
It's not bad. It's just not.
It's a good order. It's a potential card for Order Kaguya, right? Like that and Shelly maybe
Order
have some
Loki.
play lines.
Because you just
Or
blow up
Order
your
Loki,
new
yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I sign up for these.
it's
These
got
are
the
these are
green.
neat.
Oh, God.
These are neat. These are neat.
Oh.
Okay, next up we have this is Topographer of Eternal. This is a 3-drop 7/7. We
No,
found out
it's
there
a
was a
3-drop
printing error.
nothing.
It's a 3-drop 7/7 resonator that just says enter, recover up to 5 basic magic stones you control with different magic stone types. What is this for?
It's
is this
it's
card
the
for?
world's greatest edition, dude.
I mean, like,
Oh,
is it
I know.
cube playable? Like,
No, I got
sadly enough, it honestly doesn't. Like, it even feels like weirdly too good for cube. Like,
No,
It
Jeremy,
wasn't-
you don't understand. It's for the 5 different basic stone type Shakespeare no stone the same combo deck.
I mean, Epic Story staple, right? Like, instantly Epic Story staple. This card is.
No, I found the use.
If it didn't say basic.
No. It's fine. We'll play literally 4 of each basic stone in Lumia. Get the Shakespeare, flicker the Shakespeare to get things, and you can flicker this to recover your stones and wombo combo somebody. Huh?
Okay, moving on. Moving on. Paul, any last thoughts about weird card?
Well, I think it's a 3-drop resonator. You can bring this out with Dexia's advice, right? I also think of Asuka being able to bring this back, and all of a sudden, you've paid nothing for an entire board of creatures, which seems pretty good.
But you have to pick
But it's
basic stones.
magic stones.
Yeah,
Oh,
if it
then
didn't
that's
say
even
basic,
worse.
I'd be all like down for this card.
Let's all put
but-
some Kaguya crying in the chat because Paul can't read.
Oh, God,
Kaguya
it
tears
does
in the
say
chat.
basic.
We were just
I read
talking
it
about
and I was like,
before-
Wait a minute.
listen.
Oh.
Before the podcast, we were talking about the needing the ability to read, Paul, and now live you have failed in your ability to read.
Okay,
come
in
on.
my defense, I have a reason to not be like
That's fair.
super
that's fair.
mentally.
You do have
accurate.
you do have a reason. So
I rescinded my
I-
like on this on the Facebook page. So
Judge, I have a question.
answer.
The card's separation of body and soul says destroy target resonator with attack different from its printed attack.
Shut up!
Its printed attack is 700. 700
No,
attack
it's
and
not.
defense.
It's got no printed attack, Jeremy. Come on.
It's already been confirmed that it's a Narada and it should have 7/7 as
I
its
will
printed stat
I will
line.
go to a tournament with that card in my deck and convince Phil as head
I'm gonna
judge
DQ
that
you.
I should. I can,
Let me
if I
put
can
it.
convince
Let me put it on
Phil, I can
record.
get away
At
with
fa-
it.
at
we just get you
let
into
me-
a tournament. That's a miracle. So sure.
That's true.
Let me talk about this. If you come to, here's the deal, Mike Rants. Here's the deal. I'll give you this. If you promise on this show, with the 3 of us, this entire chat, and God as your witness, that you promise to come to FowFest, I will enact a special rule that if someone plays this card against you, you may use separation of soul, body and soul on it to kill it. Like,
All right.
I will have a house rule that is specifically Mike Rants, if you play Topographer of Eternal against him, may use separation of body and soul to kill this card. But you have to promise right now to come to FowFest this year. Like,
Okay,
it has
you
to
know
be
I
now.
can't do that considering the whole me moving across the country.
Well, that's an unfortunate for you, because I've
If I
laid the
show
gauntlet
up,
down.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on from this very weird card. So also, like, where does it go? Like, what deck does it go in? Something we're missing. Okay, next up
This
we
card should have
have
printed in like 2014.
Reunion's Head Chef. 2 cost Moo Tribe. Quick cast 7/7. J/Resonators you control gain prevent the first damage that would be dealt to this card each turn. I like this card.
I like
This
this card too.
cool.
It's
I think it's great. Overstat at
Also just-
7/7 with a nice defensive stat line. Great.
It's a quick cast 2-drop with that can be searched off of Thunder Empress Strike.
Stop talking about Thunder Empress Strike. Nobody cares about Thunder Empress Strike. Stop talking about it.
I would say a 2-drop Moo Tribe quick cast seems pretty good, regardless of the effect, because now we're finally getting Moo Tribe support.
Quick cast Moo Tribes in general are good because of the fact that Mamu has just mastery Moo, right? So like the ability to be able to put that race on field during both players' turns suddenly makes Mamu feel a lot better. And Mamu was already seeing play now.
Also,
right? So,
the Mumu search spell that costs X, search your deck for X because you paid the 2 green with mastery.
yeah.
Okay, hear me out, guys. How many chef cards and food-related cards are there in Force of Will? Can I make
A lot.
6.
Can I make cooking
7.
tribal?
No.
Yes. Probably could make
Cooking
Cooking Tribal.
Cooking tribal.
Between the
Currently not
resonators,
anymore, so-
between the resonators and the spells associated with those resonators, yes, I think you could make Cooking Tribal a deck.
Perfect. That sounds
no
like the
currently not.
exact kind of thing.
Dinner time, table
Who are you cooking
manners,
for?
Sylvia's cooking, Sylvia, this card, magic sweets, counting magic,
Magic Sweets.
Rabbit
food,
Chef.
rabbit
Burnt
chef,
cooking.
burnt cooking. Yep, we can make this deck. We can make
We
food
could
tribal.
definitely. We can make food tribal. We can make Gordon Ramsay tribal.
Yeah, for sure. Gordon Ramsay tribal.
Gordon
Let's
Ramsay Tribal.
So next up, we have a card that is
It's
truly
fucking
going to shake.
roll. Anyway, continue.
Truly going to shake up the meta. I think another really great card that is going to see some absolute influence is Ray Asnable. This is Reunion's Navigator. First off, Class A Gundam meme. Like Class A, right? Absolutely landing in on that naming convention. This man is a 3-drop 9/9 barrier Moo Tribe that says you may pay 1 less to play this card for each entity you control that was returned to your hand from the field this turn. J/Resonators, additions, and regalia entering the field under your opponent's control don't cause their own enter abilities to trigger. And pay 1 blue, discard this card, cancel target enter ability. This card is fantastic, and we've been asking for it for years.
It took them like 10 years to print Abdul, but better.
Yeah, for sure. Like everything about this card, 3-drop cost. Don't even care that it's 3-drop cost. I'm gonna reanimate it. I'm also just gonna casually slam this card for 3 because of how good its effect is. Like, and the fact that it has natural barrier. Like this card is great, worth playing 3 will for me.
I'm going to pay 2 will for it.
By bouncing stuff to your hand.
Nope. I'm going to put it in the field of a Vimal.
Oh, sure.
Because
So
it's
you're gonna-
just another Mephistopheles.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I thought you were about to say that. I thought you were about to say you're gonna Thunder Empress it.
No.
Just
Yeah, this
cheat
card-
and
I know what
Thunder
the card
Empress it.
says, Mike.
It does go into Olivia. Let's just be clear.
That's fair.
This card just the fact that it has like everything about this card I just think is so perfectly designed for what new era FOW is for this type of stun effect, right? Like it self-protects, but it does cost will investment, so it's not just like an immediate hard punish shut off, right? Which is great. But it has, because of the prevalence of like good spot removal and the efficiency of good spot removal, like it doesn't feel bad to play this card because it has barrier, right? But also playing into a control heavy meta where you're like, well, I probably can't quite get it casually right now, but wait, let's make it not a dead card by giving it this discard effect. But then also you're like, okay, well, let's put it into bug type decks who maybe then can reanimator it, so maybe they're not a heavy blue base, they splashed blue, so then they can maybe try to bring it back some other way. Like everything about this card just screams playability to me in a way that is absolutely huge. Like it's so good. Like 10 out of 10. Probably one of my top 5 cards of the set. Like this card is great.
Do we have a regalia with an enter trigger that isn't Demonic Globe?
I don't believe so. I wouldn't even consider it technically a demonic globe.
Well, but the shift globe that wins the game.
It's not a regalia on the side that actually has an enter trigger. So
You're right. That's an addition. I
I
don't
don't-
have a regalia with an enter trigger.
I don't think so. But
So
they
this
might
is
eventually print some.
future-proofed, I guess.
Yeah, it's
for
also
regalia.
future-proofed.
they're
Yeah.
saying that there's gonna
future-proofed.
be ones. Ooh.
Well, even just the fact that this hit, like, we've been talking a bit. So let me put it this way. When we found out about the tag mechanic for Aristella, a bunch of people immediately went, oh, if we can find a way to protect the Abdul, that's going to absolutely hurt a ton of decks because of how much they rely on enter effects. And then they're like, yeah, you're right. Here's a card that does
Here's
it.
the card.
There's
I
There's a
was like,
barrier
whoa.
resonator. I love barriers with resonator.
I also love
yeah.
Barriers with Resonator. It's very good. Those powerful card type.
Yeah, this card is just absolutely great.
Very
It also
importantly-
starts the Artemis bow and the Ifrit glass. So that's, I mean, no one's playing bow. Ifrit glass has seen almost no play. So definitely future.
This card is too good for cube, by the way. This card is not going into the cube. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not too good for cube.
It's a
It goes on our
Jeremy.
test.
Come on now.
I mean, the cube has like 3-drop slots, right?
Does
So
the
like
cube
this.
play Mephisto?
We do play. That's true. We do play the 3-drop shift Mephistopheles
That's pretty
or
good.
inverse Mephistopheles. So maybe we can play this card.
Very importantly, I like the fact this card says discard this card, not remove this card from the game. So it's not like the Garyon thing where it's like you can't just revive it or anything. Like you can just drop this in Command of Life and Death it back.
Yeah,
Duet
like I
of
said,
light.
like it has
Duet
playability.
Shh.
It has
I'm
playability in a
an
lot
old
of
school
different
man.
colors. But like
You're an
that's
old
the
school man.
thing.
You say Book of Ivan.
The new one actually, instead of if we're going for 2-drop Darkness Reanimate spells, is Hero Reincarnation. But let's talk about that because that hits a 4-drop and can also be something else other than just a reanimate. Anyway, yeah, this card is like I saw this card get spoiled and I was like, damn. Because like we have been asking for blue to have some kind of thing to cancel automatics for a really, really, really long time, and this one just feels like the absolute perfect one to give it, right?
This is
'Cause
such a great
it can
card for Beard Tribal too.
It can also it can go against any enter effect, right? So let's talk about the enter effects that are really driving people up the walls right now, right?
But it can't stop a drain trigger.
It can't stop a drain trigger because that's not an enter ability. But also think about
Can't
like
stop a
it's
Bane
stop.
trigger either.
It's also an activate ability of this card, which means it also gets around like the cancel stuff. So then suddenly things like Pink Spider, who are trying to go like super committed early on, it's just like, okay, you have a memory of worlds in hand. Whoops, like
Wait,
you know what I mean?
I just
Ooh.
saw Rustin's comment saying "Idiot Sandwich." I'm gonna name the Chef Tribal deck "Idiot Sandwich."
Perfect, absolutely. No, I really love this card. I think it's great. I think people need to pick up as many copies of this card as they can because I think over the span of the next 5 years in Force of Will that you're going to see this card a lot, and it's going to be well worth your time. Like easily top 5 cards of the set. Easily.
All right, what are the other best beards in the game, and do they match this guy?
Let's move on to our next one, which is our next cards were the cards that were spoiled in the video that was posted before we jump into Electra stuff. So let's start with
not Cyclone.
Was Cyclone? Did I miss one?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, Cyclone.
Kid.
Cyclone. He's the
Where is
hero
that?
Man.
Oh, right. I downloaded these weirdly. So next up we have Cyclone, new hero of Eternal. 1 blue, 2/2 human. You may pay 0 to play this card's cost. If a resonator you control was returned from the field to your hand this turn, enter draw a card. It's not bad.
Okay.
Better
It's
than
probably-
the other 2/2.
It's better. It's probably just like an upgraded Alice's Little Scout that like sometimes is free. Right? So like nothing really to shake a stick at there.
This card
Is a
is
human.
This card is just like. I'm gonna be real here. This card just feels worse than Melfi.
Sure. It's like half a Melfi,
It's like half a Melfi.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Although Melfi's probably going to get a combination ban in this next set. So
Yeah, I mean, she should get a regular ban, but that's fine.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, not
I know.
necessarily right either, but
I'm
like
technically correct. The best kind
combina-
of correct.
a combination ban between Melfi and Lingering of a Fairy needs to absolutely happen. Like, that's the thing that needs to happen. Anyway, next up we have Cyclone Emerges. This is the more cool card, right? So 1-drop blue quick cast chant, name a card, reveal the top card of your deck. If it shares the name of the named card, draw 2. Otherwise, draw a card. It has Mastery Cyclone. Paul, what deck is this going in?
Elemental Heroes.
Stop.
Let's go, Bubble Beats.
When Shion.
Stop.
Shion,
Cyclone is basically Magi Trooper, but with way more work.
This also goes
Way
in
more work.
This also goes in Deus Ex, but you know.
Yeah.
Yes, it also goes in Deus Ex.
It also goes into, what is it, the Green Wizard from Valhalla that makes everybody play with the top card of the deck revealed. Very important. I know everybody's playing Valhalla now.
Or decks with Laplacia, I guess, because you can look at the top card of your deck at any time.
Of course, everybody wants to play the 3-drop 7/7 that does nothing.
Hey, I played it in Typhon. It's pretty neat.
I'm sure you did.
It's pretty neat. It's a cool card. I like it.
This is definitely just a Tokusatsu shout out, and I appreciate that. They put it in the best color too. So
Paul, not all of us can speak weeb here. You have to translate for everybody in chat.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's go on to Brad.
if you know, you know. If you
So
belong,
this is-
you belong.
Yeah, you're right.
This is Brad, the Amnesiac Immortal, a 1-drop 2/2 Marvel rare that gains light, water, and darkness in addition to its other attributes as long as it's in your hand. If this card would be put into a graveyard from the field, it's put into your hand instead, meaning it never hits the graveyard. Enter target J/Resonator you control. Target another J/Resonator you control. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on this card and the chosen target. At end of turn, put this card from your removed area into your hand. So very clearly designed to work with these cards that we've seen that are remove X of this type of card from your hand rather than pay this card's cost and let you recycle it, suddenly giving those cards a little bit more value and meaning to what they're going to be able to be played. It's a cool design.
Yeah.
Also, Reunion doesn't get a Marvel rare. So we have this instead.
Rip.
I really like that they're playing to the flavor of Brad by making this card not good.
I think it's neat.
I think it's very neat.
A neat interaction. Plays Memory of Worlds, this card.
Just like bring it back to my hand at the end of the thing. Thanks. Someone talked about the idea of like if you really wanted to go super hard, you just play Invitation of Valhalla and remove all 4 copies of Brad from your deck at the start of the game, and then just put them in your hand at the end of the turn.
Ooh.
And I'm like, why? Why?
You know what deck can do that?
Darktree?
Olivia.
I mean, yes.
Mm.
Shut up! Shut up about blue rulers! Shut up about blue rulers!
Even I'm not bad, Pat.
And you know what you can cast Invitation of Valhalla off of?
I was a Thunder Emperor Strike.
Thunder Emperor Strike. So you know what we can do turn 0 if we're on the coin?
I'm so upset by every
Boys,
single thing that's happening
did you know what we can do turn 0 on the coin? We can Goddard into Dolly, use coin plus Dolly Will to cast Thunder Emperor's Strike to cast Invitation of Valhalla to mill all 4 Brads to draw them all the way into the end of the first turn. So that going into our first turn, we call stone and we have 4 Brads in our hand. Let's go!
I was laughed out of a room for trying to FTK with Olivia and Dolly. And here we are, really just coming full circle.
Oh, my head hurts. I laughed too hard.
Oh, it's
My
so
entire
funny.
life hurts.
It's
I hate
so
everything.
This is what you get, Mike.
That's so funny.
You're
This is a
receiving callback.
Sorry,
It's
can we change
karma.
the name of? I should have changed the name of the podcast episode to "This is an Under Thunder Emperor's Strike" podcast now. Anyway, so let's talk about the card that had a lot of people kind of spooked, but honestly, I think it's okay. This is Conflict of Memory of Soul. 1 green X. You may remove X wind cards in your hand from the game rather than pay this card's cost. Cancel target spell with total cost X.
Okay.
It's like we tried to make Force of Will from Magic in Force of Will, but we absolutely kneecapped it.
They really should
So
have just called this card Magic the Gathering, just to make
that
it
would have
full
been so,
circle.
or like the Gathering of Magic. There's just something like just like a
Conflict
little
of
bit of
Memory
a
and Soul is basically just like
yeah, Magic gathers. Just like something like
gathering
that.
Magic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sorcery
this
comes
card
together.
This card is fine. Like, it's
Yeah,
whatever.
this card's fine. Like,
It's fine.
specifically, to me, the reason why this card is fine is because it's not a Wall of Wind tax effect. It specifically is target that kind of card, right? So if you want to try to, unless you're discarding Brad, if you want to cancel a 1-drop, you're still burning 2 cards for 1 card, which is still going negative, right? So, like, and this to me is the design of a free cancel that actually puts you behind, which is what is the way to design free cancels, right? Like, I have to burn 2 cards to answer your 1. I don't get to go neutral with you by paying 0 will, right? I think this card is absolutely just fine. Now, obviously, it gives some strength to Brad, for sure, like, because you'll just buy Brad back, right? But at the same time, it's still like takes you 2 cards to like get the initial effect off, which I think is exactly what I want in the way this card works.
I think the only thing this card does make me worried about is people trying to go for like FTK strategies or OTK strategies and having something that's free to do it with.
Yeah, but most consistent FTKs at this point, like if they're trying to go fast, are like, first off, even if they aren't incredibly first off, they're all incredibly fragile from like multiple interaction points. Secondly, they all cost a ton of cards and aren't in green. Right? So like, how do you protect this when you've already burned through your whole hand to try to combo off and have 0 green cards to support it, right? Yeah. Like this to me doesn't, like, I honestly don't think that's a big issue for me. But I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think this card is well designed enough and the game space is designed and balanced well enough that that's not what I'm concerned about with this card.
I think this does open up future potential for somebody to find an FTK within green for less cards. I think that there could be something, but end of the day.
But again, the fragility of them, I think, is still very much apparent. Vijay is Invitation Quickcast. No, it is not, but Thunder Empress's Strike doesn't care.
Yep.
Thunder Empress's Strike bypasses the casting speed of the card that you're casting off of Thunder Empress's Strike. So, you'd rather just play number 13. Yeah. Unless you're playing Brad Tribal, yeah, you'd rather just play number 13. Hey, but you know what they say? If you can choose what to be, always be Rad. Hey. Freaking so good. Paul, any thoughts about this card before I jump to the third one?
Nah, I'm good.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's just gonna home somewhere eventually. So it's one of those cards that's just gonna like stay, tucked in a folder somewhere until it comes out and does some interesting stuff.
Paul, I feel like your take on this card is that you can pitch your extra sparkling fish in order to do this in Olivia.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Brad Tribal Olivia? Are we playing Brad Tribal Olivia?
Ooh.
Sorry. I do have to say this. We will get to determine if we can play Brad Tribal Olivia when we see what the discard water cards from your hand cost is, right? Because if we're playing White Olivia, which Paul has said on 2 back-to-back podcasts that the company is trying to push him towards, we can play Brad Tribal and we can play the White RFG kill card, we can play the Brad cancel, and we can play whatever the blue one is. So we can play Brad Tribal Olivia, and we're there. It seems like a pipe dream, but it might be a thing, and we might make Paul play it on the channel. Like, there you go.
You got there.
This makes me upset. Continue, please.
It also upsets me because Jeremy is suggesting he has to make me play Olivia on the channel.
That's true. I probably will just be like, hey, you should just play Brad Tribal Olivia. And he'd be like, yeah, okay.
Vampires 99 all right, I'll build it.
All right, wait. And then I'll come up with like white.
Oh yeah,
with the white half Olivia, and I'll come up with like the dark half Olivia, and I'm like, oh, I like this color better. Currently,
Shadow Olivia.
Okay. Next up, we have this is Monument from the Stone Monument of the Sage. 1 green edition. Enter. Search your deck for a human and or a 6 sage. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Neat note: Engineer of Eternal's a human.
True.
Okay.
Oh look!
So Feasting is not a human, or Feasting is not a 6 sages.
Yeah. So you can like pay 1 green. You can like have an addition, pay 1 green, search engineer, and then immediately cast engineer and draw a card.
Welser's an engineer, not an engineer. Welser's a 6 sage, right? Is he?
That's true.
Oh,
I
he
believe
is.
so. No, he's not.
No, wait, no, he's not. Never mind.
No, he's not.
Yeah, well,
I'm
it's
just-
6 sage.
You need to stop trying to make Olivia a thing. Oh no, it's not. Not a good card.
What do you mean
Nice.
make Olivia a thing? She already is a thing.
Not a good thing, but a thing.
She's a thing. Never
Okay,
said she
next
had
up-
to
different routes you could take.
Next
Mikey,
up, we're
Jack of all trades is a human, by the way.
That's
Despicable
true. Oh,
Monk is
that's
a
true.
human.
That's interesting.
Whoa,
yeah,
that's
Mikey's a...
crazy.
Okay,
The
So let's move on to
zero
Electra.
Resonator that prevents your stuff being bounced or your opponent drawing more cards. It's a human and a 6 sages, I think.
oh, that's neat.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
Mott is a human.
Next up, we have Electra, the Armament Apex, a red-black human ruler that says Armament EX 7. As you may start the game with an Armament EX deck of 7 regular armaments that are unique names and cannot contain high armaments, just armaments for the EX deck. They can only be one of each, and the high armaments start in your sideboard. And she says, you may, as the game begins, you may grab one of your armaments at random and put it into play. So it's not a trigger, it cannot be lore-righted, it cannot be canceled. You will always have an armament at the start of the game, which is huge for her
Random
to never
rules.
have to write. But also, yes, the whole mechanic seems to be, we don't know what game we're playing, we don't know what rule modification we're going to bring to the table. Let's have some fun.
Let's play more random decks. Except I can't choose with
More
this one,
rulers.
but I'm down for it.
Roderick, I'm going to talk about it when this card comes up, but if you legitimately think you're going to ever successfully T1 lock someone with the line that you're talking about, I need you to leave. I need you to just leave.
Jeremy, what, your subscriber count going down? That's sad.
I'll talk about it in a little bit. Unless Rumsfeld, no, you will still always get it, and Rumsfeld doesn't hit sub-rulers. Sub-rulers are a specific type of card. They
Yeah.
do not count as rulers. Rumsfeld does not affect them. So, there you go. Just keep that in mind. Oh man, Discord's doing that weird thing where it won't let me change the image again. Frick. Okay. XSplit is doing that weird thing, not Discord. Apologies.
Discord's not really that great for showing images.
So next up we have, this is Intel, the Dark Clown, 1 black, 2/2 gears. Is that a gears? Yes, it is a gears. That's interesting. Flying with enter, upgrade target armament subruler you control. Your opponent discards a card. Rest a recovered upgraded armament subruler you control. This card gains +6/+6 Bane and Eternal until end of turn. Frickin' great. Frickin' great.
Is it already that we actually have an armament that we can't upgrade to kind of get a sense of like what this thing is going to look at?
We do have
Like,
it.
look
We
like?
do. We have
this
a-
thing is
we-
gonna be
we
good.
s-
We got one today.
That's
we got one
that's
today.
what I'm saying. Like we have one today. So I'm saying that we
Yeah.
have one to look at, and so like now you're starting to get the context of like what this thing can do.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking good. Like it's a very cool concept. Moving right along to our red clown. I do really like the fact that she's the randomness rules. Like it's gonna be a party because you never know what's going on, and she has 2 clowns. Like I just really love that. Like it just feels
actually-
correct.
She actually has way more clowns than just these two.
Okay. Next up we have
Literally depends on
Ryzen.
a player deck.
That's what I was saying.
She has 3 clowns. There's 3 clowns. Okay, I like it. Well done. So next up we have Ryzen, the fiery clown. This is 1 red, 2/2, and flying. Enter. This card gains +2/+2, or it doesn't have an enter, or does, but this card gains +2/+2 for each armament or high armament subruler you control. On enter, reveal a card from your armament EX deck at random and put it into your ruler area and draw a card. Patrick, what were you telling us about the meme that is these names for these 2 clowns that have to do with tech?
Ryzen comes up with stuff and Intel improves it.
Computer memes. I tell you what, man, the design team,
memes.
is just it's so good. It's so good.
I really hope that anybody playing this deck calls it Metal Gear Ryzen Revengeance.
Nope. We're gonna call it Gotcha Games.
That's not incorrect.
I love Genshin Impact.
Get out.
How's your hard pity? Sorry, the high armaments are your your hard pity because you get to choose them. So you just roll for your pity and then you hard pity into high armaments. This is great. I love it. I'm here for it 100%. I do like. I mean, both. I think Ryzen and Intel are both very good. Like, I think he will play full play sets of both.
Okay. You're right.
I think he will play full play sets of both.
I need to make them quick cast at some point.
Good luck.
Shut up.
Next up we have our first contract for her, which is armament upgrade. She has 2. Keep in mind, she'll have 2 contracts. Armament upgrade, 1 black non-quick cast. Upgrade target armament sub-ruler you control. If you control 2 or more armament sub-rulers that are upgraded, you may contract this card with Electra. And we have talked about the other card, that the contract side already, which is the horror form, which applies that stat neg to the entire opponent's board state based on the number of armaments you have. And on enter, you get a high armament from your sideboard and put it into play. And the armament that we have seen with her, high armament, is come on, expand. Thank you.
It's coming.
Horror armor of the god of death. Sub-ruler high armament. J rulers you control gain precision, pierce, drain, and bane.
Flavor text almost worked. Flavor text almost works.
So she will
listen, man. This is about equal to the Flame of Outer World original flavor text. It's
That's
a
a
deep cut, I know. Yeah,
that's a cut.
Yeah.
Only those who have seen hell can wield its true power. I mean, that's pretty damn dope. If only they would have
only
written
who
that.
has seen hell. Only who has seen hell.
We just missed one word. It's fine.
I mean, and a tense, but that's okay. That's okay. Fine. It's fine.
It's okay. It's fine. Google Translate.
Don't worry
machine
about it. Don't worry about it.
It's
Google
the
Translate
thought that
machine broke
counts.
today. Yes.
It's the thought that counts. I mean, this card is the contract is cool. I mean, the contract it's easy enough to be able to stick it early, right? In terms of like you'll start with 1. So like even the line of like you could possibly contract into horror form on 2, which is just something to kind of make a note of. So like turn 1, you play Ryzen to get your second armament. Turn 2, you play Intel, who upgrades 1, and then you play pay 1 whale to upgrade the second one, and then you go immediately into contract. So like you can get into horror form on turn 2, which applying a like at that point in time you'd have a -6 to your opponent's board state. Like applying a permanent -6 to your opponent's board state that early in the game can be debilitating, right? To certain decks. So that's not a horrible play line to kind of think about. We just truly need to see, like, I think we need to see just more of the armaments, the regular armaments in general, to be able to gauge, like, what does her play style feel like? And also, again, because the rules are kind of going to be random each time, like, what you're pivoting into is probably going to be different every single time you play her, just from what you get. And so playing a gotcha game, and sometimes you just got to make adjustments, which is very cool because it keeps you on your toes as a player. And I also think there's honestly part of me that thinks that this might be the new card to like teach game fundamentals with, because it's not like a set strategy. Like you're just going to have to know like good fundamentals to play her well and like be able to utilize her well. So it might be a pretty good teaching deck, which I'm always looking for like new decks to help. I'm always looking for like decks to help players learn, and this feels like that as well.
Yeah, okay, you got intro deck. This is now we're gonna teach you how to utilize your deck in this stage 2 sort of.
You understand mechanics. Now let's talk strategy and how it plays out in a game of FOW. Yeah. Let's teach you how to play with Electra.
Jimmy,
I don't know if you're all hearing that off screen or not, but there's this like distant but very intelligible scream coming from Charlie Dumel that we now have another thing that gives precision pierce.
Hey, sorry, keep that in mind. Precision pierce with Drain Bane. So like that's
Drain
the
and
like.
Bane.
So like now, if I attack into something and you block it, and 100 damage goes through to the original attack target, I kill both of them.
Do you kill your opponent?
No.
Does Bane kill
Mike,
your
you had a
opponent?
question.
Jeremy, as somebody who has somewhat of an in with Force of Will, do you know if these sub-rulers will take up ruler slots, or will they be more so just like rares in packs or like normals in packs?
Oh, sure. So first off, there's got to be freaking everywhere because every single one of the
PR kits.
as far as we know, there are 10 unique armaments and 4 unique high armaments, and we know for a fact that every single one of the PR kits will have all 14 of them in them. So these are going to be everywhere in terms of the ease of access for armaments. It is not going to be difficult. And we also know that her contracts are the pre-release promo and the buy a box promo. Both of her 2 contracts will be the PR promos.
Perfect. Okay, I just
So,
want
like,
to make sure this was
Electra is also going to be very new player friendly to play, especially since you only need 1 copy of each armament because you can only play 1 copy of each armament.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, I just want to make sure that these don't take up a ruler slot, because if I opened a box and I got a ruler slot of this, I'd be fucking pissed.
They will not.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Patrick.
so we'll get Patrick back in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have 3 more cards to talk about tonight. The first one being kind of nuts. This is Blade Shower, 1 black quick cast chant. As an additional cost to play this card, rest X recovered armament or high armament sub-rulers you control. Copy this spell X times. You may choose new targets. Destroy target J/Resonator with total cost 1 or less. If this card was awakened, destroy target non-Magic Stone entity with total cost 2 or less instead. And the awakening is 1 red. Out the gate with coin. This is pay 1 black, kill 2 things. And it only gets better from there.
I don't know. I'm iffy on this card.
I think it's a great card.
So based on the last scenario we just described, if the -6/6 doesn't kill the stuff, and this doesn't kill the stuff, at least you're still in black, so you can kill that with something else. But you have field control. Congratulations.
Yeah,
and it's a normal.
I think giving a deck that is going to have its opening turns so dependent on a random pull something this good for board control was very well thought out, right? Because she will have to, like, regardless of strategy, her first 2 turns are probably going to be, okay, what does this game look like? Right? And so giving her away in like design, in packaging, to take advantage of her design and give herself that breathing room to kind of like and then be able to do what she needs to do based on what she pulled, I think was incredibly smart. And it also has like late game versatility as well, right? Where you can just like clear a board, but also if you're playing against an addition heavy deck or something, it has that pivot. You can play it as an addition hate card. Like, this card is very, 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 very good for her.
Oh, that's true. It gets rid of the wall edition.
It can if you awaken it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not nothing.
Yeah. And I can hit J rulers right out the gate because they have a cost of 0. Unless they're ordered. So, something to note there as well.
But Jeremy, what if it gets canceled? If only we had some way to make this uncancelable.
Wait a minute. Paul, wait.
Foreshadowing?
Wait.
On the podcast?
Wait.
This guy's 5 shadowing.
We'll get to it. It's our last card. We'll get to it. Next up we have Curse of the Crown. 2 black chant. Rest all ruler, armament sub-ruler, and high armament sub-rulers your opponent controls. During your opponent's next recovery phase, they cannot recover more than 1 ruler they control, and cannot recover any sub-rulers they control. Draw a card, and it has mastery with Ryzen or Intel. this comes back to my topic of what I said about Roderick. Both players technically skip their first recovery phase. So if you're going first as Electra, you can play one of these guys, and then if your opponent lets you retain priority, you can tap down all their rulers and force them to skip their first recovery and skip their first stone call. Keep in mind, they have Energize, and both of those things have an enter effect, so they can they can kill it before their enter effect resolves, so you will never turn 1 mastery this card. It won't happen. Don't try it. That being said, it's a cool card. I like it.
I love how Jeremy like wills things into existence by saying it won't happen. Like I really just love that about you, Jeremy. Like I really love how you'll say things and then it's just literally the opposite happens.
Like
Welcome to
you
Jeremy's...
glowed for a little bit there. I was a little worried. I was like, he's transcending into something.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's
The power to make this one specific
Roderick, but they
scenario
don't even.
happen.
But Roderick, they don't even have to sacrifice their Energize or God Art. Sealed One-Eyed Dragon answers this, right? Like it's like there's so many answers.
Jeremy's
Let me make this clear. People will try this.
Oh, 100%.
And they will catch people. It will not win tournaments or matches at tournaments.
It's gonna gatekeep the hell out of GPs though. like in Swiss, people are gonna get wrecked by this just because they accidentally didn't have an answer to it.
But the thing is, like, we've talked about this before, how, like, Stone Hate and any kind of, like, early game will production stun, because we're in an era that has Energize, just, like, doesn't feel super great, like, in general. Because it's not as, like, debilitating as it used to be, especially when you're considering also things like Lingering Scent of a Fairy, right? Whatever that card is, too. Like, I only need one will, and I can flash in a soul. We talked about this before. I'm going to play white, flash in a soul, and get a stone anyway. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, my goal is reduction of life. Yeah, that's fair.
How quick we are to forget Wanderer, Captain Hook era. But I get what you're saying.
But, like, Wanderer, Captain Hook era is a completely different time from now. We didn't have, like, good things to use Energize with back then. Like, Energize wasn't nearly as good back then as it is now because the cost curve was like different. But that's what I'm saying. Like the cost curve back in the day was different, where like you didn't get as much out of an Energize in the old day unless it was like a preventative measure. Whereas nowadays we have Energize to be able to do proactive plays, right? So it just doesn't feel as good to me. That's my thought. Pat's back though. So what does Pat think?
I'm trying to parse a little bit what was going on, and I'm thinking that we were talking about playing this on turn 1.
Yes, we are talking about playing this on turn 1.
It's interesting.
It's cute.
It's an option. You can do it.
As I say all the time when I'm playing with people, that is an action you are legally allowed to take. If that's what you want to do, not gonna stop you.
In the words,
I am gonna stop you, but like you could try for it.
I like the fact that like Jeremy is like the DM of Force of Will. Like somebody comes in, he's like, "I'm gonna do this crazy play," and Jeremy's like, "Really try."
You could try. Did you roll? Oh, you rolled a nat 1. Cool. Get absolutely wrecked. Like,
this combo's AC is 15. Good luck.
Did you roll a 2? What's your bonus? -3. Oof. Unfortunate.
Jeremy, nobody in the world's rolling with a -3.
Wisdom was your dump stat, eh?
I mean, intelligence is half of Force of Will's players' dump stat, but that's fine. Not everybody in the chat. Everybody in chat, it's like a +3 to int. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure. You come to ruler school, naturally gives you a +2. Okay. Last card of the night is our first regular armament, which is Amulet Orb. Good old Ponder. It is a sub-ruler armament. Resonators, spells you control cannot be canceled. When upgraded, this card gains the following text until end of game. Chant spells you control cannot be canceled. When this card is upgraded, you gain 1,000 life. Again, I'd like to point out that Rumsfeld can't ever impact this. So if you upgrade this on turn 1 after hitting it, and your opponent's a cancel deck, you go, have a nice day.
You go, cool. Sprinting Steward. Inferno. I'm just being the Rustin here.
This card's cool. I really like this card.
But keep in
Card's
mind,
nuts.
your cards
Love
can
it.
still be Persephone. They can still be
Memory of Worlds, Fiola, like there's still counterplay to it, which I think is important, right? But it is like you sometimes, if you're playing against a control deck, might just roll the thing that says, "Hey, turn off half your deck."
You can also still cancel the abilities of the Resonators.
That's true. That's true.
This, my Orbeez.
Yeah, this card's great. And if all of the other sub armaments or like regular armaments have like this kind of like, this is going to shift the immediate shift of how this game is going to play, I'm very much here for Electra. I think she will be very fun to play.
If you're playing a bunch
all
of
the
random
time.
if you're playing a bunch of random cards and your opponent can't interact with them because of the orb, is this not the Orb of Confusion?
Yeah.
Electra has me very excited. Just overall, I think in
Alright,
general.
Very excited.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
one of these cards just to have somebody edit it so that it is the Orb of Confusion.
There you go.
I just need
What a
somebody to
meme.
paint over it.
For the art.
No, so here's the funny thing, because we'd have to ask TOs, right? But if all of the armaments are like these like standalone things that kind of look really freaking cool, and there are gonna be so many of them, and they're like truly random, I'm just gonna ask my friends who do like 3D card art, and I'm gonna walk up with them with like a bunch of copies of all of the armaments and be like, can you make me 3D copies of all of these? So I could just have these like flexed 3D armaments to put on my ruler zone. I'm like, yeah, hey.
Have those at stream table.
Have those at the stream table? Yeah, we just have our like custom 3D armaments for you to use. That'd be pretty
I want
freaking sick.
holograms.
I can't believe nobody.
Hologram!
I can't believe nobody in Global or Sword Posting has put just Pondering Orb. Like it's
Rustin
been out
has.
for what?
Rustin has.
where?
Rustin did it immediately.
In the Discord servers and on Reddit.
Oh. It should
And
be in
on
Sword
Reddit.
Rustin, this should be in Sword Posting, man.
Rustin doesn't participate on Facebook.
That's unfortunate, considering I don't participate anywhere else.
Just the two of you just do not connect.
Just ships passing in the wind.
Ships passing in the wind. But yeah, these are very cool. I'm very excited about it. Electra has a lot to still unpack. I'm very curious to see what her Marvel Rare is. There's a part of me that wonders if her Marvel Rare will like count as a J ruler, kind of like what's her name? The 2-drop whose name I can't remember. Red Black Lady opening the red eyes.
Shakti.
Shaka.
Shakti.
Shaka is a card.
Shaka
is a card in this set.
Fucking
Shakti.
Khan? Okay, fine.
Yo, Shakti's
Shakti.
in
But
this
like
color.
And Shakti's in this color.
Whoa.
That's like, keep that in mind that Shakti's in this color, and it does say these high armaments say J rulers you control.
However, Shakti says only for the purposes of regalia.
Oh, does she?
If I remember
Pretty sure.
correctly,
I'm pretty
Shakti
sure.
says only for purposes of regalia.
We're gonna crush my hopes and dreams immediately,
Sorry, Jeremy,
which
if
is
we do that.
I'll accept that.
I've
It's okay.
I've tried, Jeremy. I've tried to play it.
Dude,
Shakti.
I crush Jeremy's hopes and dreams
For the
every time
effects of
on
a
stream.
regalia you control. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Neat.
I crush Jeremy's hopes and dreams every time I'm on stream, so that's perfect.
That's not true.
That's fine. You got plenty of your hopes and dreams crushed today, Mike.
Yeah, we Thunder Empress struck you for many a time today.
My brain has been Thunder Empress struck. This was like having a Thunder Empress stroke.
Hey. Anyway, any closing thoughts tonight before we leave?
Cool.
As always, this has been myself, TMO73, and I've been joined by Paul Reisman.
Roderick saying it's definitely going to happen is my favorite thing of the night.
Yeah, Mike Rants. And Patrick Ogrins.
It's time to spin the wheel of armaments.
Whee! Class dismissed. Have a good night, everybody.